The Arts Applause Rising Talent Showcase is recognized by top industry leaders as the most unique platform in the USA and, of course, the world. Live performances take place in front of industry decision makers, and every aspiring actor, singer, dancer and fashion model wanting to pursue a career in the entertainment industry, wants an opportunity to be part of the international forum. We're now joined by South African representative Elsubie Verlinden and Lebogang Ashley Fisher. And of course, Lebogang is one of the people chosen from Johannesburg to represent the country, and the rest are from, of course, across the country. So welcome to A News.
Thank you for having us.
Wow. Before we get into what you do, Lebogang, and how you got across to make it, I want to ask Elsubie what the Orlando Applause Expo is all about, what it is, when it happens, and so forth.
The Arts International Expo takes place twice a year, so there's a winter convention as well as a summer convention. South Africa only takes artists to the June convention, which is American summer vacation. We take artists from around South Africa that we select to go and meet with industry professionals, modeling agencies, managers, producers, casting directors and record labels from all over the world, Asia, Europe and the United States of America, all come to a 5-day convention whereby artists, which is models, actors, singers and dancers who've got a passion to pursue an international career, come and perform in front of these industry professionals. And these industry professionals will then basically select off this platform who it is that they would want to sign to their specific organizations.
Okay, so how does the scouting then take place? Do you go to schools? Do you go around Johannesburg at robots? Because I know that some fashion models are scouted by the robots. Child have been trying to stand at the robots to be scouted. Nobody came. But how do you find these talents in the country?
We've got great arts representatives throughout South Africa. So we actually associate with specific organizations, and then we do a national talent search. It actually starts now on the 20th of February. We'll be traveling from Johannesburg, from city to city, all the way down to Cape Town. Then we go down the coast through Port Elizabeth, East London, KwaZulu-Natal, and then come all the way up through Mpumalanga back to Johannesburg. So we do a national a talent search that we run through the country to go and scout for specific talents.
Alrighty, Lebogang, and you are one of the lucky few that were chosen, of course, to go overseas. Yes. What is your talent? What do you do?
I'm an actor and I'm a model, and I've recently branched off into singing as well.
So how does this mean to you? I mean, what does this mean to you going overseas and meeting all these influential decision makers?
It's a wonderful opportunity just to be able to put myself out there and represent my country, as well as showcasing my talent and the talents of other young South African artists, really. That kind of exposure, that kind of that level of participation is unparalleled. You cannot get that anywhere else. And that's such a wonderful opportunity.
Really. And Elsubie, I'm sure that besides it being a personal achievement for the artist, it must reflect back on the country. How important is it to, of course, sort of like export South Africa's talents overseas?
It's very important. I was an artist myself, so it's always been a very big dream of me to go and perform internationally. It was very difficult to break out as a South African artist. Very little industry professionals worldwide knew or believed in the talent that we have. And in 2010, I decided to get on a plane and go to America and showcase a selected handful artists. And we made such a great big impact at the arts convention that we were invited to come back. The owner and director of the arts, Kim Myers, actually comes to South Africa once a year to come and scout at the International Talent Showcase. So all the artists that we then select through the National Talent Search will perform as something that's called the International Talent Showcase in October. And Kim Myers comes down and she'll select these artists. And just that alone for me is a great privilege to have an American industry professional and talent scout come to South Africa to personally invest in scouting the selected artists and then getting them abroad to America. We currently have 28 artists in New York and in Los Angeles, which is a great achievement, not just for us as South Africans, but for these children, because their international dreams were always blocked by society. A lot of South Africans don't really believe in themselves enough. And that is when I just decided, that we need to put a stop to that and allow these kids an international platform. Ashley has actually got a very exciting year ahead of her. Ashley is going to relocate to New York City. She got a partial scholarship from the New York Film Academy.
Wow.
And she will reside in New York as from the 22nd of June. She'll go to America as a South African artist and do an international educational degree. And then she also meets up with one of our greatest success stories. His name is Gino Lee. He's from Port Elizabeth. He's currently at the New York Film Academy doing his master's in acting for film. And he booked a gig, that was on last week Friday. He booked a gig at the bitter end, which Taylor Swift, as well as Lady Gaga, Bob Dylan, started off their international careers from.
Wow.
So for a South African artist to get recognized and accepted to perform on a platform where Neil Diamond, Bob Dylan, Lady Gaga actually performed and started their careers from is a great achievement. So South Africa is definitely on a roll on international platform.
Yeah, I mean, you should be excited. You should be very excited. But, you know, before we dwell into your achievements, I want to go back to that grueling, probably nerve-wracking process before being selected. How was that for you?
It was torturous. I'm joking. It was wonderful. I mean, at the time, I just completed my matric year. So at the time, I'm studying for prelims. There's June exams to consider, and then finals. So October, we just finished preliminary exams, and we're heading towards our finals. So as I'm preparing myself to step onto this international stage in front of Kim Myers, I also have to remember that I have school on Monday morning that I still have to be present for. So there has to be that balance, always. As creative as I am as an artist, I also know that school has to come first. Elsubie said that I'm going to an international college. That's not without the hard work and support that I've received from my parents and the hard work I put into my education.
Absolutely.
So that's been very important. Yes.
And I mean, for you as an artist representing the country, what does it mean for you? Because I know we read about artists complaining that they don't get enough international exposure, there are not enough opportunities overseas, and often when the international artists come to South Africa, they have to be like the opening acts, only the guys that are just, you know, at the backlog, but they're never really at the forefront. But for you to rub shoulders with influential decision makers, how does it feel for you, you know, representing your country like that?
It's certainly nerve-wracking to realize that there are such big decision makers that are going to be surrounding you during this week, that are going to be keeping an eye out on you. It certainly means that as an artist, you have to be on the ball. You have to be on top of your game. Nothing can throw you off. And you have to keep in mind that you aren't the only one.
Yeah.
Elsubie said that there are 28 of us that are going just from South Africa. That's excluding the American artists that will also be performing, the Australian artists that will also be performing. For us to be considered on that level is an achievement in itself, but it also means that we have to prove that we are worthy of being on that stage.
I couldn't have said it any better. Elsubie, before we let you go, for those young hopefuls that also want to participate in the Applause Rising Talent Showcase, how do they go about doing that?
They need to contact our arts representative, who is Addie Lang. She's from Caitlin's Castings. They can go on to www.caitlinscasting.co.za, or alternatively, they can contact me at my office on 011 039 2481, and then most definitely find us on Facebook. Everything that we are doing to represent South Africa and artists are on Facebook, and on Twitter they can find us Just You MA or Elsubie Just You.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for joining us, and all the best to you overseas. We'll be rooting for you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Alrighty, that was Elsubie, who is, of course, going to be the South African representative at Orlando in the US, and Lebohang, who will be showcasing her talent.